My name is Taft West, and I am a residential community manager. And my job is to lease to people, give them a good place to live, and to make sure the property is maintained at a high level. A satisfied tenant feels it is his duty to pay you if you're a landlord. That's always been my adage, and if you make them happy to be there, they will pay you. It's a service job. What tenants want is what all of us want. They want, first of all, to be recognized and respected and given a decent place to live for a fair price. A lot of tenants, particularly those that are low income, that come from underserved communities, are shocked when they come into the buildings that I've been fortunate enough to manage. First of all, they're extremely clean, and they feel as if they're in a high-end market rate environment because of how the property looks and how they're brought in. And they tell their family, look, come see my apartment. I was born in Mississippi. Our family moved to Springfield, Illinois in 1950. My father was a laborer, then a machinist at Alice Chalmers. He accepted the call to the ministry and was one of the ministers at a very strict Southern Baptist church. It was all about service, and they hammered off and on, that's why we're here, to serve. I was a church usher, which was particularly pleasing because the church bought you a black outfit, a shirt and trousers that matched. And my job was to hold the door and say, welcome to Pleasant Grove Baptist, we're glad you're here. And I was just so proud of that, especially wearing new clothes. When I got to Chicago, I got involved in a lot of protest movements, and Dr. King had an influence on me getting into housing because I used to avidly listen to his speeches. The day that he was in Chicago and was hit in the head with a brick, I and my Sunday school kids were actually not far away. We were in a place called Fuller Park. The fact that he was concerned about housing, and he also took an apartment over on the west side, he and his wife, for a while, we all knew about that. So I always modeled myself in the vein of service, and a young man that was part of my group said that he worked for one of the top real estate firms in the country, and they were training people to manage real estate. So I said, manage real estate? Who knows how to do that? He said, you ought to come and interview. I go to this 100-acre property with 2,000 families and 40 stores, and I go in and see this extremely well-dressed gentleman who was the senior general manager of the property, and we talked a while, and he said, I like this young man. We'll give him a shot to train him as an assistant manager. And so the corporate office called and said, well, you have absolutely zero experience, so you've got to apply the heck out of yourself. I said, but isn't that a service job? You take care of people. And you know, growing up in Springfield, that's what we did. So we'll start you at $11,000. And I'm like, yay, I'm in. As years progressed, I went on and got a real estate sales license. Years later, I got a broker's license, then a managing broker's license, and also a certified instructor's license. So I teach real estate management on a quarterly basis to the Chicago Association of Realtors. LCBH is a legal advocate for tenants, and if you're a landlord, then you ought to be a service advocate for tenants. And I see those two goals as the same. Mark and I have been friends for many years, and he said, you know, would you be interested in being on a board? And I was shocked. I said, you know, my assessment of this company is these are attorneys, high-powered, who go to court and make landlords do the right thing. So I figured that the board would probably be attorneys as well, and you know, I'm just a guy.
The reason that I am in the current job that I'm in, which I love, is because of Taft. I was a first-generation real estate investor. I didn't have examples that I could reach out to and find out how to do this. I didn't know what the rule book was. And I'm so glad that I found Community Investment Corporation's property management training class. So I enrolled in the class very soon after I purchased my first property, and Taft was the director of the program. Taft is a perfect choice for the Barbara Grau Award because of his efforts to help to encourage people to come to common ground, to form those connections, to help people to understand that it's a partnership.
And one of the reasons why we're giving this award to Taft this year is because we need to have a really good understanding with the other side. It's more about bringing all these resources to bear to try to solve a problem. And that's Taft. That's Taft West in a nutshell.
I mean, you really can't count how many people have been impacted by Taft's experience and his advice and his good humor and his kindness. So I'm really happy that LCBH is giving this award, and it's well deserved. And I'm just wishing all the best to Taft and his future endeavors.
I was in awe to be asked. It's always an accomplished attorney who has spent a lifetime advocating for tenants in the legal arena. So I'm beyond honored to be even considered for an award that's given to successful legal people, even though our goals are to the same, advocating for tenants who live in apartments.
The Barbara Grau Outstanding Housing Advocate Award is a standout award for those who have done remarkable work for tenants in the housing industry. So it is with great admiration that we recognize his efforts tonight, for all that he's contributed, for his lifelong stance for housing and for serving others. Mr. Taft, you deserve this tonight. Congratulations.